Hello and welcome back. So today I'm making this really cute little gingham print wall decor piece using items from Dollar Tree, so make sure you stay tuned to see how I put that together. I needed a larger base for this project, so I'm going to be putting together two of these Easter signs that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I do want this to lay flat against the wall, so I did start by removing all the little bunny tails. I didn't want to have to sand off all of the glitter and the paint on these signs, so I just ended up painting on the back. I started by removing the hangers and then the little sticker labels on the back. So you definitely could use popsicle sticks if you had those on hand. I just picked up these wood slats from Walmart a while back, so I just ended up using those to hold this together. These are some really nice wood pieces, and I'll definitely be using these in some other crafts, so I'll pick up some more. But these worked perfect just to glue these two signs together. I actually had one of these Valentine hearts left over from Dollar Tree, so I'm going to use that, but you definitely could opt this out for a smaller square sign or anything that you could find recently. You could definitely make the same thing I'm going to make today, but I'm going to take the larger sign and I'm just going to give it a nice thick base coat of white paint. I actually end up giving this 2 coats, I think. So I did use this thin painter's tape to help me make my lines. I actually found a blog off of Pinterest that showed exactly how to do this, so I was so excited to learn and excited to try this on a Dollar Tree project. But the trick to this is you lay down one piece of painter's tape and then you lay down another one as a spacer, and then you just keep picking up the spacer and then putting it in between your next roll of tape to make these perfectly spaced out lines. After I got all the tape on there, I did press them down really firmly to make sure that all the edges were sealed and that no paint will seep under these lines. I love the look of the gray and white checks, so I mixed together some of the elephant paint with some white just to lighten up the color. And then don't worry, I do end up using all of this paint later on for another project as well, but I'm just going to be painting in between the tape. After that first layer of paint was dry, I removed the strips of the paint, and then I'm going to go back in and add the tape in the opposite direction after I made sure that that first coat was completely dry. After I had the tape laid perfectly in the opposite direction, I just went in with the same color light gray that I had mixed up before and then painted in between those lines. Now you want the darker squares to go on top where the paint overlapped each other, so you just have to double check. It's definitely hard to see it on camera, but in person you could see that the squares that you were supposed to paint darker were a little thicker and did raise up, so you knew where to put the tape. So you just left those thicker, darker little squares exposed so that you can paint over it with a darker paint. So remember to leave your second set of painter's tape on there. Do not remove that layer, and then just put this layer on top of it. And I'm still using the spacers to help me line up exactly where my lines need to go. I used the edge of this wood plank just to make sure that all the tape was pressed down really nicely, and then I'm just going over this with the chalk paint in the gray color, some of it that I did not mix, so this will be a little bit darker than what I had originally painted on the board. I waited for that paint to dry as well, and then I was able to remove all of my tape. I did get my tape a little bit crooked, so some of my squares in the top corner did end up a little bit offset, but that's okay because after I hot glue my heart and my little sign on there, I don't think that you will be able to see it. For the Valentine's heart, I did remove that little sign. I tried to sand this off, but I ended up just taking a razor blade and being able to scrape it all off. And then I'm just going to give this a base coat of the mineral color paint and completely cover this and try to get rid of the red. I wish that I would have painted those little indentions first with a dark color, but I'd already went over it with the light color, so I just went back over it with this truffle color chalk paint to try to add some dimension into those little grooves. Then I just went ahead while it was wet and blended all my paint together. I love how it turned out. I thought it looked really good. I did end up adding some more of my mineral color on top just to blend this out more and to have more of a lighter color.
You don't let your feelings haunt you. You don't ever get nervous, do you? With all the right cards in.
For the burlap sign, I wanted to add a little word underneath of the heart, so I'm just giving this the same color paint with a really thick coat of the chalk paint and going to cover up the Valentine's word, and then I'm just going to be able to freehand my own word on it later.
I'm breathing just to feel my God.
I wanted to add a bow on top of this heart, so I'm taking a piece of my burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to crisscross that over. This will actually be the back of my bow because I want the tails to be coming from the back, and I'm just going to tie this in a double knot with a piece of jute string. So whenever I put the bow at the top of the heart, I definitely wanted some greenery in the center. I didn't know what I was going to do at first, and then I thought it would be so neat to add a pocket, so that's what I ended up doing. And to do this, I just took some of my burlap ribbon and then hot glued the shape that I wanted it to fold over, and then folded that over and glued it around on the back. I ended up putting 3 layers of this ribbon and just overlapping it a little bit. I did go back in later and add a tad of hot glue in the center where they touch at, but this just made it perfect to where it would fold over exactly where it needed to go. I thought that it looked weird for the little pocket and the bow to match 100%. It kind of blended together, so I wanted to darken this up a bit, so I used some more of the truffle chalk paint and then just barely dry brushed over it, darken it up quite a bit more. I thought it would be so pretty to add some of the greenery into the pocket, so I'm using my wire cutters to get these off of there. These are just the Dollar Tree spring bouquets. I just removed all of the purple flowers out of them, and I think it leaves this beautiful greenery that is kind of frosted looking, that goes perfect with the farmhouse, and just stuck it down into the pocket. I didn't hot glue this or anything, it just held it nice and snug in there, and then I hot glued my bow to the top of this. To add some more definition onto the heart so it did stick out from this gingham print and didn't blend in, I just put some little black lines around it with a Sharpie paint marker. I love making these little lines. It just makes things pop out so much more. And then for the little sign at the bottom, I just wanted a really simple little word, so I chose love, and I just wrote it cursive on here with a Sharpie, and then I went over it with my paintbrush to darken it up a bit and make it look a little bit more printed. Using the black paint, I went ahead and outlined the outside of this little sign just to give it some more definition as well. And then I tried to empty my brush out as much as I could and then go over the little canvas a little bit to darken it up. I also took a piece of sandpaper and really roughed up this gingham pattern. I love how it looks after I got it all distressed looking and some of the paint is all scratched up. It looks so much better. I ended up taking a wet wipe to remove all of the sanding dust. It did smear over into the white squares some, the gray paint did, but I like how it looks, so I just left it. And then I decided to hot glue my sign down at the bottom, and then I just hot glued the heart up at the top. I did want this to have more of a hefty hanger rather than just using a piece of jute string, so I pick up this gauged wire. It's 17 gauge wire from the local hardware store, and I just pull it through really even, and then I take my needle nose pliers and I just twist it around until it shortens it down enough to hang this on the sign, and it makes the little swirly part stay in the front, and I think it's so cute. I was so excited with how this turned out. I'm excited to hang this in my dining area. I have collected a few gingham accents here and there. I do have a little valance in the kitchen that is gingham, so and this light gray is my favorite, so I'm excited to let this match in there really pretty. Let me know in the comments below what's something that you would have changed about this sign, or a different idea if you didn't have access to the Valentine's heart. What's something else that you could use? I'm thinking, like I said before, you could just use a little square sign, like a smaller one that they do offer at Dollar Tree. But thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Make sure you are subscribed and give this video a big thumbs up.